Coding is like writing, and we live in a time of the new industrial revolution. What's happened is that maybe everybody knows how to use computers, like they know how to read, but they don't know how to write. On YouTube, women are not just users, they're creators. They're learning about business and technology and having a voice. Even in a culture where people are well-meaning, there are sometimes microaggressions, people who will just cut you off. You'll be talking and someone will interrupt you. That's become a big pet peeve of mine. Whether it's salary or a promotion or a job, I think it's important for women to ask for what they think they deserve. People don't understand the logistics of advertising. To have the ads purchased and run, you need to have a series of products that work together. The great thing about the internet is you can launch a product, and within just a few hours, people will tell you what they think about it. It's important for me to show my children the richness of life and be a role model. I find that my organizational and management skills are tested more at home than at work. There are lots of people in the Silicon Valley who are interested in working at a fast-moving, dynamic company like Google, not just my family members. Advertising is very simple in a lot of ways. Advertisers go where the users go, and users are choosing to spend a lot more time online. I think we have to recognize, as an industry, that users have a lot more choices and can click away to a lot more media. As a result, the advertising we create really needs to be something users want to see. I have tried to be a leader. I have tried in my role of being one of the first women at Google, let alone the first woman to have a baby, to really try to set the tone that this is a great place to work for diversity reasons. My smartest move was joining Google. It wasn't obvious at the time that it would be a good decision. A lot of people, many of my friends, advised me against it. What's important is that I do my job really well, that I build great products, and that I'm a great leader. All those things matter independent of gender, but I do think there's a responsibility for me to support other women at Google. Let's face it, engineering companies in general have more men than women. Google has tried really hard to recruit women. On the other hand, we have a standard. Google tries to recruit the best engineers. Google is fascinating, and the book isn't finished. I'm creating, living, building, and writing those chapters. People used to say that advertising wasn't in Google's DNA, and that's obviously not true anymore. They used to say that display advertising isn't in Google's DNA, and that's not true anymore. I think the phone is a really personal device in a lot of ways. If you drop your phone or lose it, there's a moment of panic. On the other hand, there's a lot of control that users have. Google is a consumer brand, and people need to be comfortable. If we were just an advertising brand, we wouldn't have the same concerns. We've always tried to promote transparency and choice among our users. Ads get a bad reputation, sometimes because they're not useful, they're not relevant, or slow. Google has been doing well. As much as possible, we're trying to share back with the employees. They will continue to create a lot of value, though we do need more women to graduate with technical degrees. I always like to remind women that you don't need to have science or technology degrees to build a career in tech. I think video advertising is a hugely compelling medium. Even though it was a startup with fewer than 20 people, and I was pregnant with my first child, the best decision I've ever made was to join Google in 1999. Worst decision? Deciding to get a puppy and a bunny right when the baby came. The reason I like my job is that I have this desire to create. I have this desire to create things and build things, and Google has enabled me to build and create things and to build products that are used by people all over the globe. I'm excited about the opportunities with mobile phones and being able to receive information on the go and relevant to what I'm doing at that moment in time. Mobile is an incredibly fast-growing market and will continue to be. Generally, our approach with products at Google is to first develop the right user base, and then to figure out what's the right experience for the ads. I have this desire to create things and build things, and Google has enabled me to build and create things and to build products that are used by people all over the globe. My kids know I'm home every night for dinner. People at different stages of their lives are doing different things, and they're all using Google, employing more women at all levels of a company, from new hires to senior leaders, creates a virtuous cycle. Companies become more attuned to the needs of their female employees, improving workplace culture while lowering attrition. As someone who's been lucky to have a great career in tech, I know how creative and fulfilling a career in this industry can be for women, and I want to make sure we continue to recruit and retain great female hires. Underrepresented employees already have to overcome discriminatory barriers in their careers. They shouldn't be expected to volunteer their time to help their companies do the same. Your kids get something from your career, and your career will get something from your kids. After my kids go to bed, I check email. It's about having that balance. Having a child is a big life change, but the really hectic period is relatively short. You can get through it. Don't overplan your life. Joining Google when I was 4 months pregnant was a bit of a leap, but sometimes you have to do the right thing for you. Right now, I see tech as a force that is changing pretty much all parts of our society. It's really sad for me that we don't have enough women that are part of that. One of the things that I'm trying to do is use the position that I'm in to encourage the next generation of girls to think about the internet as a career opportunity. You see a lot of powerful women on the internet, but I wish there were more. I think the internet really could use a lot more women. Growth is always essential. Running any tech company, you want to make sure you're growing, putting in place all of the right structure to be able to ensure growth. If everybody has to take biology and chemistry, they can take computer science. Computer science is a more useful skill right now than a lot of other things that people are learning at school. People complain when ads aren't relevant, and they complain when ads are too relevant. Suddenly, when you have kids, you become responsible for these other people. Like if something's not working out at school, I learned to speak out. If women don't participate in tech, with its massive prominence in our lives and society, we risk losing many of the economic, political, and social gains we have made over decades. Susan Diane Wojcicki, born July 5, 1968 in Santa Clara County, California, the daughter of Esther Wojcicki, an American journalist, and Stanley Wojcicki, a Polish physics professor at Stanford University. Her maternal grandparents were Russian Jewish immigrants. Her paternal grandfather, Franciszek Wojcicki, was a Polish politician who had been elected MP during the 1947 Polish legislative election. Her paternal grandmother, Janina Wojcicka Hoskins, was a Polish-American librarian at the Library of Congress and was responsible for building the largest collection of Polish material in the U.S. She has two sisters, Janet, a doctor of anthropology and epidemiology, and Anne, an entrepreneur who is the co-founder and CEO of 23andMe Wojcicki. Grew up on the Stanford campus, where mathematical scientist George Dantzig was her neighbor. She attended Gunn High School in Palo Alto, California. Wojcicki is an American business executive who was the Chief Executive Officer CEO of YouTube from 2014 to 2023. Her net worth was estimated at $765 million in 2022. Wojcicki has worked in the technology industry for over 20 years. She became involved in the creation of Google in 1998 when she rented out her garage as an office to the company's founders. She worked as Google's first marketing manager in 1999 and later led the company's online advertising business and original video service. After observing the success of YouTube, she suggested that Google should buy it. The deal was approved for $1.65 billion in 2006. She was appointed CEO of YouTube in 2014, serving until resigning in February 2023.